AskReddit by deleted. What's something you learned that completely changed your outlook on life? 99% of people you deal with in day-to-day life are not your friends. They aren't necessarily your enemy either. Quit spending so much effort trying to be friends with everyone. People either like you, dislike you, or as is in most cases, are totally indifferent toward your existence. And that's okay. Yeah, exactly. For me it was finding myself and a purpose. It changed everything. Had a coworker that sat right next to me pass away. He was healthy and active. He wasn't feeling well one morning and went to the doctor. They discovered cancer. 4 months later he was dead. He was in his 50s. Been thinking about him a lot and it just emphasized how short life is. You never know what lies ahead. So make use of your time now because there might not be a tomorrow. Be happy and find joy in everyday things. Got a call from my best friend that he has cancer. 10 months later he was dead. Age 38. You never know. Your employer gives zero shits about you. You die today, your job is advertised tomorrow. Don't prioritize work over family, friends, and your life. So true. I nearly killed myself doing a job that I loved, but I was in poor health. I kept ignoring my health issues because I was a dedicated employee and needed to get my job done and didn't want to leave them hanging. The lack of compassion I received in the long run was horrible. I was left permanently disabled and unable to return to my career. I learned very quickly that if I couldn't be there to be the wonderful employee they praised me as, then they didn't have the time of day for me. They moved on in a heartbeat. Haven't heard from any of them except one coworker, that is my true friend, in over a year. It was my fault for ignoring my health, but I never would have anticipated how quickly the tides turned and how quickly I was written off. Moral of the story: take care of you first. Nobody actually knows what the fuck they are doing. Ye success I do. I used to be a people pleaser. Very much so, to my own detriment. Then someone told me, you know, people are like fruit. You can try to be the juiciest, tastiest, most healthy apple you can be, look perfect in every way. But some people just don't like apples, and that really stuck with me. It's helped a lot with upkeeping healthy boundaries, and not wasting time energy on the wrong people. It's been life-changing for me. Hey, that's a good way to look at it. I used to be one as well. Funny how your phone stops blowing up when you put yourself first, isn't it? Don't cross oceans for people who wouldn't even cross puddles for you. 40% of American adults need to learn this lesson within the next few months. Life isn't a competition. It took too long to learn that. Compete with yourself. Be better than you of yesterday. Everything else is a distraction. You can unconditionally love someone and that does not mean they will ever love you back. Learned this with my last relationship. I loved her, all her faults and issues, and she was indifferent to me. It hurt me more than I care to admit. Sanitation is crucial for a healthy society. Appreciate your garbage collectors. 90% of modern society is having people who take the trash away and pipes that take the poop away. When my therapist finally convinced me I didn't deserve how my parents treated me. When your parents resent you deeply, it's very hard not to learn to resent yourself. THIS add an actually pretty privileged upbringing to the mix and won't Ellie. 1/2 of the world doesn't care about your problems and the other half are glad you have them. It's hard for me to always remember this, as I've got some pretty bad social anxiety that I'm working on right now. But the thing that has helped the most of any other advice was that we typically only see the best of other people, whether on social media or how they present themselves at work or out in public. When I compare all of myself, and all my embarrassing moments and all the things I've ever done wrong, to this best version of a person, I'm really not making a fair comparison at all. We all know comparisons are the thieves of joy, but learning why exactly really helped me understand. Hope it helps someone else working on social anxiety too. Not so much something I learned as a shift in perspective, but I heard the phrase never attribute to malice what can be attributed to incompetence. It stuck with me for years and brought a sense of calm and inner peace that had been missing. Realizing that people are just living in their own world and simply oblivious to their actions has been a positive change, especially on the road. This is a good one. Part of the DUR agreements, right? Don't make assumptions. How to read people. After that you realize how much people are manipulative or bullshitting even about most unimportant things. I'd say more of a realization. Just looking at the stars at night, we are a mere molecule in this galaxy. There was a 1 in 400 trillion chance of being born. The way people treat you is a reflection of themselves, not you. Meaning the way you treat people is also a reflection of you and not them. Pay attention. So my brother pushing me into the wall so hard my shoulder broke is a reflection of him and not me being crazy? 99% of the things you worry about will never happen. Suffering in advance is a waste of time and health. Such as growing up is a choice, not a requirement. Helped me realize people grow at their own pace and I shouldn't measure my life against others. This happened fairly recently. I am a CNA and there was this one nurse, her name was Shelley. I worked with her for a few years and for a while she was calling in a lot. Several people were saying stuff like, oh, she doesn't want to work or she's sick of this place. Then a few months ago she was shot and killed by her longtime boyfriend who then turned the gun on himself, and it was revealed she had been going through domestic violence for years and she finally tried to leave him and he couldn't accept that. I now tell myself to never assume something. If a person has poor attendance it may not be because they don't want to work. You never know what a person is going through or how bad their home life is. She was really good at hiding it, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary, other than she always wore long sleeves even in the summer. I really miss you, Shelley. Thank you for making going to work so enjoyable. It didn't feel like work. You were such a kind soul. You didn't deserve to die. RIP. I'm so sorry. Family is subjective. Just because you have a genetic relation to someone does not mean that they are family. People in general should not be fully trusted until they have truly earned your trust. Most people really only care about themselves, and if they would benefit from taking advantage of you or throwing you under the bus, they're going to do it. Some things might possibly happen for a reason, but not everything does. All things will pass in time. The only thing that will remain are the lessons learned. And in time, these too shall pass. Like tears in the rain. A relationship isn't 50/50. It has to be 100/100. Now that's just bad math. I learned that sanity is a privilege. Not everyone is fortunate enough to enjoy it. The same few major corporations run the world.